Tenders, we did very well. We won 21%. This time, 3% in volume and 4% in value. Not exactly the performance that we had anticipated or expected. And yeah, I think we can certainly do better next time round. Having said that, though, the tenders this time were at much lower margin. Certainly volumes were a lot higher. We understand that some of the suppliers that won have already had trouble supplying. And in fact, we in the last quarter have still been supplying the government with tender products from the last ARV tender. So yeah, we were disappointed. It's not good to sit with big empty factories, and certainly we did an empowerment transaction. We were a bit disappointed we didn't get any recognition for that either.
Do you think it highlights the fact that South African pharmaceuticals are too dependent on government ARV tenders?
I think, luckily for us, we've got a very large business independent of government tenders. So yes, we had, nearly 600 million in tenders in the previous fiscal. In this year, it's a whole lot less, but we've still got 80% of the fluids tender in critical care. We still have, more than 100 million rands worth of other tender products in the pharmaceutical division, in tablets, capsules, creams, ointments, and all other such things. And increasingly, we're growing our local private business as well. So the factories are actually filling up with product that we've bought back from other third-party manufacturers that we had to actually move out at the time of winning the previous tender.
The next blow you received was obviously the Medicine Control Council ordering the suspension of 3 drugs. Now, analysts are estimating that that's probably taken about 200 million rand off your revenue line. I see that you are appealing, or you have launched an appeal with the MCC over DPP. Where do you stand with that, and how significant is the effect on the company?
I think it is a very significant effect. The first thing to say is that most of these discussions should have been between the regulator and ourselves in a closed process. Unfortunately, the information was brought out into the public domain, and hence, because it's so material to us, we responded to let our shareholders know that there may be a problem with these particular products. At the moment, the MCC has now formally communicated to us of their intention to cancel the registration. So because of that, we're now in a position to appeal, and in fact have done so.
Do you think you have a strong case for that appeal? Well,
Bronwyn, the data in South Africa is very clear. When one looks at toxicology reports from Tygerberg Hospital, when one looks at all the data that we have with more than 30 years of use with these particular products, there's clearly no signals to suggest that people are falling over from this particular product, that there's the adverse event reporting suggests that there's not really a problem with the side effect profile at all. Also, the product, unlike what happened in the EU, is not an OTC product. It's a Schedule 5 product, only available in hospitals under specialist discretion. So really very difficult to get hold of in the first place. So we haven't seen any signals that suggest it's abused or that there's a poor side effect profile. The formulation too is different to what is used in America and in the EU.
Jonathan, do you think you're vulnerable where any other medicines are concerned from the Medicine Control Council suspensions?
Well, there's products come and go. I mean, that's the nature of the pharmaceutical industry. So we constantly invigorate our pipeline. We partner with multinationals. We bring in a portfolio of new and interesting, innovative products all the time. There's always changes, particularly in cold and flu preparations, in analgesics, in cardiovascular drugs. Drugs come and go. The Vioxxes and the Celebrexes were the big ones that had issues in years gone by. Certainly in our portfolio, yes, we do have some other maturer brands and products, but we're busy replacing those with newer, innovative formulations all the time. So I don't think there's the same kind of risk that you've seen from DPP in Adcock.